Hello and good morning to all students and Madam Shanas. My name is Ummi. Today we will have two presenters explain about goal setting theory, which is Alia and Bella. And before we continue to our presentation, let's watch video.
First off, let's talk about goal setting theory. The basic underlying premise of goal setting theory is the goals that we establish affect our achievements. By establishing goals with certain characteristics, we can then increase our motivation towards a particular task. Some of the most notable research has been conducted by Gary Latham and Edwin Locke, who were able to prove that establishing specific and challenging goals where participants receive feedback on their progress achieved higher productivity than their counterparts. These results were also consistent across low complexity jobs, such as independent loggers, and high complexity jobs, such as scientists and engineers. So regardless of your occupation, establishing goals provides a benefit. But establishing just any goal is not going to produce a great motivational benefit. For example, the common goal of simply doing your best was found in some studies to produce similar levels of productivity than simply no goal at all. Now, why is it that goal setting tends to increase our motivation and result in greater performance outcomes? Well, first, according to academic research, goals help focus our energies on the things that actually matter. By establishing a goal, what you essentially do is prioritize those activities that lead to the accomplishment of the goal. Anything else simply gets in the way, which means you would likely focus on engaging in goal-related behaviors. Several studies also cite that goals energize people. This is particularly powerful when challenging goals, commonly referred to as stretch goals, are established. These types of goals lack a clear avenue in terms of achieving them, which forces individuals to think of new methods of accomplishing them. In addition to energizing us, goals also affect our persistence. This is especially powerful if our goals are made public. We're far more likely to continue to exert the effort to accomplish the goal because we don't want to admit that we failed at something. Lastly, establishing goals forces us to use our existing knowledge and abilities to accomplish our goals. Or, if a deficiency exists in this area, they force us to acquire the knowledge and skills needed to accomplish our goals. This goes back to persistence. If we identify something that is truly important to us, then we're likely to expend additional energy to achieve the goal.
Based on the previous video, let me explain more about the purposes of goal setting theory. There are three purposes of goal setting theory. First, to guide and direct behavior toward overall organization, goals and strategies. Two, to provide challenges and standards against which the individual or unit to be assessed. Three, to define what is important and provide a framework for planning.
Opportunity to receive these benefits to the same degree. The reason for this is a lot depends upon the types of goals that are established. In order to receive the motivational benefits that goal setting theory provides, goals should meet certain criteria. The first area is referred to as goal specificity. Goals need to be specific in order to truly affect our behavior. Remember when I said earlier that a goal of do your best actually resulted in similar performance levels to setting no goal at all? The reason is that doing your best is vague and doesn't provide a specific target to work towards. We're also much more likely to quit when something gets a little difficult because we can always hide behind the, well, I did my best. In addition to being specific, goals should be challenging or difficult. Now, challenging does not mean impossible to achieve. Although challenging goals tend to be motivating, goals that are viewed as impossible to achieve often produce the opposite result. In order to receive the benefits that come along with setting goals, participants must also accept the goal and be committed to it. For example, if a supervisor sets a goal for a subordinate, there's a strong chance that the subordinate won't be very committed to the goal. However, if the subordinate has the opportunity to be involved in the goal-setting process, then they're much more likely to accept the goal and be committed to it. The last criteria under goal-setting theory is the presence of feedback. Individuals need to have some way of gauging their own performance so they can make the necessary adjustments. Failure to receive feedback leaves individuals in an almost neutral state and can make them frustrated, which tends to affect performance. So we've talked about what goal setting is, why goal setting results in greater performance outcomes, and how to utilize goal setting theory effectively.
Alright, so today I'm going to explain on
how goal setting theory can lead to a higher performance levels. So based from the video, the narrator has already explained the components of the goal setting theory. So there are actually 5 components. So what are the components? So it stands for SMART. So what is SMART? SMART, for the S, it stands for specific. M, it stands for measurable. A stands for achievable. R stands for results oriented, and T stands for time related. So let's talk about S, which is specific. So why do goals have to be specific? So goals have to be specific so that the employees of the organization knows what to do or how to do it in order to achieve their goals. So it has to be well defined and clear. So next is measurable. So why do goals have to be measurable? Because if the organization has the specific criteria that can measure their process for the accomplishment of their goals, then they will know if they have reached their goals. And the third one is achievable. So what does it mean? So it means that the goal have to be attainable or not impossible to achieve. Because so that they know that if they have the resources or the capabilities in order to achieve their goals. So that's why goals have to be attainable. So next is R, which stands for results oriented. So what is results oriented? It is a term that describes an individual or an organization that focuses more on outcome rather than the process to create a higher quality products or services. So this speaks to a person's ability to create momentum based on their goals that they have set so that they can get things done. And lastly is time related. So why do goals have to be time related? So if the organization has a clear defined timeline including a starting date and a target date, then this will create an urgency within the organization to achieve their goals within the timeline. So that are the 5 components for goal setting theory. So that are S, specific, M, measurable, A, achievable, R, results oriented, and T, time related. So the next video will talk about how managers can use the motivational process effectively.
There a hidden cost to goal setting. Like anything, goal setting theory does come with its share of risks. A common issue with goal setting is that it incentivizes workers to avoid helping one another. Since goals are often set at the individual level, workers would be affecting their ability to achieve their own goals if they took time to help a coworker. This becomes particularly pervasive when the achievement of goals are linked to desirable rewards. So although managers may be preaching the importance of teamwork, workers are encouraged to focus on their own tasks, which is what they'll likely do. One solution to this problem is to establish a set of both individual and group goals with various incentives tied to each. Assuming that these goals don't conflict with one another, this can be a way to tie individual interests to the interests of the group.
So we hope from this video all of you can know more about goal setting theory is all about. Thank you for watching!